Papoose and Clarissa Shields had planned a low-key, private wedding, a fresh new beginning. They wanted something small and pure, away from the spotlight. But none of that happened. Instead, it turned into one of the most unforgettable public dramas ever, and all because Remy Ma showed up. When guests walked into the elegant venue, everything looked perfect. Soft music filled the air. Candles glowed gently. Flowers were everywhere. Papoose stood at the altar in crisp white, looking calm and confident. Clarissa descended the marble steps in a stunning wedding dress and veiled headpiece. It seemed like a scene from a fairy tale. But just as the officiant asked if anyone objected, the doors burst open and in marched Remy Ma. She wasn't there to stay quiet. Dressed in black, tears in her eyes, she walked slowly toward the couple, her posture bold and determined. The smooth calm of the room crashed in an instant. Papoose froze, caught between fear and shock. Clarissa stared at the woman who'd been his wife for years. Silence took over. Then Remy spoke softly, but powerful. "Do you really think this is love? After 10 years, after all we've built, you just leave over a few dates and workouts." Her words cut through the hush. Nobody moved. Some guests looked down. Others hid behind cameras. The tension built until Remy whipped off Clarissa's veil, ripping it away and grabbing at her hair. Screams broke out. Security rushed in too late to stop the chaos. Remy grabbed the mic from the officiant and held it up. "You want secrets?" she yelled. "How about those hotel charges from Miami? Remember our wedding night? You know what you did." Clarissa tried to pull away, but Remy's accusations turned into a full fight. Shoes flew. Hairpieces ended on the floor. Shards of glass rang out as people pushed and shoved. Security scrambled, pulling Remy back, clarifying the scene for guests. But there was no chance to return to calm. Papoose opened his mouth to speak, but words failed. Was gone, replaced by whispers, tears, and a sense that something sacred was destroyed. Outside, Papoose wandered under the archway. His arms hung by his sides. The candles, once bright and hopeful, flickered in the wind, mirroring the tension left behind. He looked lost and regretful. Then it happened. Police sirens. Someone called the cops amid the violence. Officers arrived, forcing guests to the side. One approached Remy Ma, reading her rights. "You're under arrest for assault," he told her. She slapped the cuffs on and hesitated. Before she left, she looked at Papoose. Her voice was soft but broken. "I loved you. I gave you everything. But you left me here, alone. And you blamed me." Clarissa tried to stop the officers, but they pulled Remy away. As she walked out, the only sound was clicking heels and distant cameras. Once filled with promise, the courtyard was now silent, beyond tense. In the aftermath, news raced across TV and social media. People couldn't stop talking. Why did Papoose move on so fast? Did Clarissa know about Remy all along? Was this real love, or just a messy cover-up? Fans noticed Remy didn't post for a few days, then shared a single Instagram story. A black background with white text. "Prayer cuts deep, but truth cuts deeper." The message was clear. She wasn't backing down. Clarissa's team pushed back, canceling 2 appearances. Sponsors quietly backed off. Her calm, strong image had been rattled. Meanwhile, Papoose apologized publicly, saying things went far beyond what he imagined. He called it not how I wanted things to go. But for many, that apology felt too late. Inside, Remy Ma was already preparing her next move, an in-depth interview, a powerful song, or maybe a mainstream talk appearance. Sources say she's ready to go all in. She's not just defending herself, she's fighting back. Under the arch, Papoose stood alone. He hadn't wanted this. He didn't expect it to end like this. He thought this wedding would be an end to old chap. Papoose stood frozen beneath the wedding arch. The floor, once scattered with white petals, now looked like ashes, symbols of a love that had crumbled. The guests had quietly slipped out, the film crew packed up, and the police had driven away. But he stayed rooted in place, reliving every moment. The slap, the wig, the shouting, the betrayal. Clarissa walked back into the hall, her cheeks still stained from tears and her eyes filled with anger. She tapped his shoulder softly. "Pap," she whispered, "you can't stay here forever. We still have a future if we want it, do we?" He didn't respond. Instead, he slid away from the altar and replied in a flat, quiet voice, "This was a setup, a show. You treated this like a production, not a wedding." She absorbed it, hurt and defiant, ready to strike back. "That's your excuse," she shot back. "I walked in like a storm. You both planned this. Now I'm the villain." He shook his head slowly. "No. You were humiliated, more deeply than any slap. I was broken before she walked in." Clarissa's face hardened, but she reached for him. He went on, "I can't do this. Not like this. Not with you." Just hours earlier, in a small holding cell, Remy sat alone. Her arms were crossed and her breathing was steady but quiet. The adrenaline had faded, leaving behind fatigue and confusion. She remembered the look on Papoose's face, hurt, shocked, betrayed. She pressed her lips together, wondering, was it worth it? Then a buzzer rang. A guard called her name. "Remy Ma, you made bail." She exhaled and rose slowly. She hadn't regretted speaking her truth, but feared she'd burned too brightly, taken everything with her. She walked into the lobby, where Fat Joe waited. With a warm smile, he said, "You really went full Bronx on huh?" Remy offered a weak laugh, tears in her eyes. "I messed it all up, Joey." He took her by the shoulders. "No, you defended yourself. Now you decide who you want to be." Papoose checked into a hotel bridal suite. By morning, social media had exploded. People split into two camps, those who hailed Remy as a scorned warrior and others who called her bitter and dramatic. Clarissa tried to take control with a calm, tearful Instagram live, painting herself as the injured party, but fans weren't convinced. Late that afternoon, Papoose stepped forward. In a dimly lit room, under a single spotlight, he posted a video. "I owe you all an explanation, but most of all, I owe Remy an apology. Not just for last night, but for everything leading up to it. I thought love was about comfort. I was wrong. Love needs loyalty." His voice cracked. The video went viral. Remy watched, tears streaming down her face. For the first time in weeks, she felt acknowledged. There was no guarantee things could be fixed, but she felt seen. 2 days later, Papoose arrived at Remy's house. No cameras. No agenda. Just them in the quiet backyard. "What do you want, Pap?" she asked, eyes level. "To talk," he replied. "To be real." They spoke for hours, not as celebrities, not as a headline, but as people who had built something real and now were walking through the wreckage together. Two souls battered by fame and loyalty, trying to choose healing over hurt. They didn't solve everything in one night, but they found something rare, honest conversation, and a spark of understanding. We've witnessed secret unions, dramatic confrontations, viral chaos, and sudden apologies. The fallout isn't over. Will Papoose and Remy truly find a new path forward? Will Clarissa stay silent or fire back? This corkscrew of love, fame, and betrayal is far from finished. If you thought this ride was wild, strap in. The next chapter, for better or worse, is coming. Who's really in the right? Team Remy? Team Clarissa? Or is Pap just lost at the crossroads? Let us know your thoughts and stay tuned. The best or worst may still be ahead.